This week, Click is hitting the beach in Southern California to meet the robot that's saving lives in the Pacific. And yes, it will involve me in a wetsuit. Viewer discretion is advised. Plus, is this the future of TV? We visit the Hotel Suite studio pumping out professional programs straight to the internet. And we have the big announcements from Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference in San Francisco. All that plus the latest tech news from around the world and an app to get that beach party started in Webscape. Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly, and welcome back to Los Angeles, home to America's greatest export, the entertainment industry. But waters have been a bit choppy of late. See, these days you don't have to be a big studio to produce good-looking content, and you don't have to be a big broadcaster to get that content into people's living rooms. You just use the internet. So when YouTube announced that it was going to start creating its own content, well, that sent a pretty powerful message to the established media networks, as Mark Istuk has been finding out.
I love you.
YouTube, a hit of preposterous proportions. Hard to believe that it's less than 8 years old. Such is its impact.
I gotta have it. This is ultra flat.
But YouTube is changing, heading upmarket in the search for a business model which actually pays them back for years of subsidizing our enjoyment of videos featuring crazy animals and hilarious hijinks. You see, for years we've associated YouTube content with stuff shot by Mickey Mouse amateurs who use their home video cameras or even recently their smartphones. But now this 7-year-old online network is growing up and it's spending its parents' hard-earned cash on content you might call professional. You might even call it TV.
What we're trying to do at YouTube right now is evolve the platform to be centered around the concept of channels. We think that channels can really help users find the content that they're looking for. So these new channels are going to act as programmers and basically put together content around specific interest areas that they know viewers are passionate about.
These new original channels are not unlike what you might see on traditional TV, featuring sports, celebrities, new programming. It's a $100 million gamble because YouTube has jump-started it all with advances to creators, some getting as much as $5 million a channel. YouTube chooses its partners carefully. Those with the imagination and ingenuity to make compelling content, which is exactly what's happening on the 9th floor of the Beverly Hills Four Seasons. In it is a network with a name that's kind of a metaphor for what's happening here. Or is it? No, it's an analogy for all of the advancements with the digital. It's a simile. Let's just go inside.
Welcome to Young Hollywood. Come on in and check out our studio.
Young Hollywood is reinventing that old Hollywood business model, delivering stars to viewers.
Hello, my name is Lady Gaga.
3, 2...
What's up, guys? Nikki Novak here for the Young Hollywood Network.
What was once a bedroom is now a swanky, on-demand operation in Hollywood's hottest celebrity hangout. Here, interviews shuffle in and out.
Really, the one in the den is a bit bigger.
And editors work non-stop. Need to use the loo? This one's taken by an overworked computer focused more on files than flushing.
I always say we've got a sprinkler right there. I hope nothing happens.
Right. No frisbee playing in here.
Yeah, wouldn't be fun.
I don't think that you would call me sir even in France, no.
This is celebrity culture, on demand and, crucially, on YouTube. Their partnership with the iconic video platform has helped Young Hollywood serve an astonishing number of page views and has generated decent advertising revenue. But now their original channel partnership is closer than ever, and so is the potential to shake up the establishment.
YouTube is absolutely turning the Hollywood system on its ear. And it's, something as young Hollywood we started doing a few years ago, and now it's supercharged it, because now we have an awesome distribution platform. It's a whole new fan base. It's a whole new audience that a couple months ago we didn't even have.
The audience may be there, but capitalizing on it has proven elusive. Paradoxically, YouTube's greatest strength is its greatest weakness. Since its infancy, YouTube has attracted a massive audience on the back of quirky viral videos. Crazy cats, biting babies,
That really hurt.
and the like. But the problem is, until now, brands and advertisers haven't seen much value in that kind of content, and they're not willing to pay top dollar, especially when those videos only live here on your laptop, smartphone, or tablet. But with internet-connected TVs sitting in our living rooms, YouTube now has an opportunity to muscle in on traditional Hollywood-style programming, the kind of premium, long-form content that is way more attractive to advertisers. Not to mention to viewers who, in lean-back mode on their couches, are much more ready for that kind of content than the bite-sized videos we're used to seeing online.
Traditionally, TV advertisers are spending hundreds of millions of dollars on TV advertising. On YouTube, we see very low rates for their CPMs, or cost per thousand impressions. That's the standard unit they like to sell their advertising with. And YouTube thinks that if they can create this exciting, compelling content, they'll be able to take some of those TV advertising dollars and raise the CPM on the site, generating more money for everybody.
That money could be good news for independent creators like the Fine Brothers. Their existing YouTube channel has generated 250 million page views. Their new original channel, My Music, features a full-length sitcom and a viewer experience that allows users to, among other things, interact with actors in character, harnessing the power of social media.
Hey guys, Idol here and back from exile.
What YouTube is doing with this initiative could be the beginning of starting to understand what has really been going on a site like YouTube, where there's real audience in a whole new way, and a whole new way of creating content to entertain people.
That level of engagement means more interactivity, and for creators like the Fine Brothers, access to advertisers they might never have otherwise.
The thing that advertisers are really, are excited about and looking for is they're looking for viewership, and they're looking for engaged viewers, right? They want their viewers to be really kind of consumed and passionate about the content that they're into.
With all the world a potential video producer, YouTube is providing an outlet for those who dream of becoming the new celebrities on the block. But for the video giant itself, this is new, unfamiliar territory. Can it successfully go toe-to-toe with Hollywood's old guard? Right now, it's a $100 million gamble YouTube is willing to make.
Mark Istook on YouTube's assault on old media. So can you see that kind of content tempting you in your living room? Let us know. Email click@bbc.co.uk or tweet us at bbcclick. Next up, a look at this week's tech news. An investigation's been launched to discover whether Google secretly gathered highly personal data, including email addresses and users' browsing history, while cameras on its cars took photos for its Street View service. Previously, the Information Commissioner in the UK dropped a probe after Google explained it had mistakenly collected just a small amount of data. But now, new evidence suggests that one of its engineers deliberately wrote software to obtain a wider range of personal data. Google says any additional information collected was never used and denies a cover-up. More privacy concerns this week, this time over new energy smart meters for your home. The European Data Protection Supervisor says that while they could help reduce fuel bills, the meters also enable the collection of personal data, which could potentially track what members of a household do at home, whether they're on holiday or at work, or if someone uses a specific medical device. Websites operating in the UK will soon be forced to identify internet bullies or trolls. Under the government's plans, those targeted by defamatory messages will have the right to know who's behind them without resorting to costly legal action. At the same time, websites themselves would be protected from being sued. But privacy activists are worried that websites might simply reveal private user details with little or no evidence of any wrongdoing. And finally, how about getting cash out of the wall, not with a card, but just using your phone? A new type of digital wallet has been unveiled by RBS and NatWest here in the UK, allowing customers using their mobile banking app to make withdrawals simply using a unique 6-digit code that pops up on their handset. California is home to some of the world's biggest tech companies. That's what Silicon Valley is all about, after all. And for one such company, the biggest of them all, in fact, it's been another successful year, despite the loss of its CEO. In the 8 months since Steve Jobs' death, Apple has maintained its course, its value, and its reputation. And this week, it's given us a sneak peek of what's just coming down the road. Richard Taylor has been to San Francisco for us.
Well, the broad brushstrokes of what was announced this week at the Worldwide Developers Conference had largely been predicted. Things like a refresh to the hardware lineup. So you now have MacBook Pros looking suspiciously like their MacBook Air counterparts. Very design-led, very thin, but with incredible grunt and processing power inside, as well as a Retina display that's only until now been available on the iPhone and iPad. It will set you back a pretty penny, almost $4,000 for a top-end machine, and even an entry-level unit over $2,000. Inside, you'll find a new operating system coming this July called Mountain Lion. Over 200 new features in that, most of them minor tweaks, but one or two interesting additions like Power Nap, which automatically updates all the software on your PC as you're putting it into standby mode. Now, for iPhone and iPad users, they've got iOS 6 to look forward to in the autumn. Again, over 200 new features promised there. The biggest news in that respect is mapping. Apple now going their own way with mapping, having ditched Google. Other things include tighter Facebook integration, FaceTime over 3G and improved parental controls, and an update to Siri, which will be available in 15 languages and hopefully a bit more useful than it is today. I have to be honest, I did ask Siri even about the iPhone 5. Didn't seem to be able to help me, just referred me to the Apple website. Sounds like the kind of thing an Apple press officer would do.
Richard Taylor at Apple's WWDC in San Francisco. Now, Silicon Valley may well be a few hundred miles in that direction, but there is at least a little bit of innovation going on here in LA. And quite a bit of silicon too. For example, the city of Santa Monica and the environmental group Heal the Bay have got together to bring QR codes to the beach, albeit on trash cans. This is something designed to keep the beach a bit cleaner. Now, if you scan the QR code with your smartphone, you get taken to the Santa Monica Beachcast website, which contains basic weather and beach conditions, water quality information, and lots of nice photos of the beach uploaded by other users of the website too. And the idea is to kind of build a sense of community around this place, make people proud of the beach, and I guess to encourage them to drop a piece of litter in the bin when they scan the QR code too. Okay, we're off to another beach in a second. I know, tough life, isn't it? But before that, I just thought I'd show you how we've parked. Now, we're using one of these. This is a smart parking meter. It's starting to be rolled out here in Santa Monica and in other cities around the US. Now, you can pay using a coin or a credit card as normal, or if you download the app to your smartphone, you can scan the QR code, and that will uniquely identify this meter and allow you to pay for parking using the credit card that's linked to the app. The app also will do things like remind you where you've parked because it knows the meter that you're at, and it will send you a text message when your parking is about to expire and give you the option to pay more and extend your parking. Now, the other interesting thing about this meter is it talks wirelessly to a sensor that's underneath the parking space. It looks like this if you were to dig it up, and this will sense when you leave your parking space, at which point it will zero the meter, which means that no one else can nip in and use any remaining time left on the meter, which is perhaps not so good for the motorist. The city's parking department told me that in the future it may use the sensors to charge motorists only for the exact time that they're parked. For the moment, though, I had to kiss goodbye to my remaining 40 cents as I headed to our next destination. Welcome to Zuma Beach in luxurious Malibu. It's a beautiful location, full of people all keen to enjoy the sun, sand and surf. The sea certainly looks tempting, but in certain conditions it can turn pretty ugly. Every summer, more than 100 swimmers in the US drown after getting trapped in so-called rip currents, nasty, swirling currents of water that suck you out beyond the break, which you can't then get out of. The LA County lifeguards are all powerful swimmers and expert lifesavers. And even though they save around 7,000 people every year, they're still looking for ways to improve on that figure. And because in a rescue every second counts, they're now testing something that can get to someone in trouble even faster. This is Emily, the Emergency Integrated Life-Saving Lanyard. And from this summer, it'll be tearing up the water at 30 miles an hour, zipping out to swimmers in trouble. The lifeguards asked me if I wanted to see Emily in action. I said, yes. They said, how close? I said, very.
Whoa, that's cold! Ah!
The lifeguards have said that the water's about 16 Celsius today, but even at that temperature apparently it can do bad things to your muscles, it can suck the air out of your body, it can shock you, and that just gives you even more of a problem from trying to fight a really strong current.
As our camera boat retreated, all I had to do now was wait for Emily. It is essentially a radio-controlled flotation device deployed by a ridiculously handsome lifeguard who's so trim he looks like he's been photoshopped, and driven by an operator on the shore. It's been deployed in a number of different situations and locations. Some models are fitted with a camera and speakers to allow the onshore lifeguard to see and talk to the person in the water. It can also be fitted with sonar sensors to help detect underwater movements. And even in today's seemingly calm conditions, the currents were strong.
I'm so glad I have this wetsuit on, because even through this I can feel how cold the water is. You do not want to be out here and in trouble.
Apparently if you are caught in a rip current, the advice is not to try and swim directly back towards the shore, because you're basically fighting fast-moving water that's going in the opposite direction. What you have to do instead is swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the rip current, and then you can get yourself back to the beach.
Within 20 seconds, Emily was with me. As long as the swimmer is still conscious, it can be a real lifesaver. It'll either tow the person back to shore, or, more commonly, it'll simply give them a break until human help arrives.
You alright? I'm alright. Nice. I know that, take this. Oh, alright. Lovely day for it. Yeah. You ready to go in? I am. Alright. Ah, that was exhausting. And I only did it once. These guys do that several times every day. It really gives you an appreciation of what they do. Anyway, now I've been saved, I think it's high time the Click team chilled out here on the beach and listened to a spot of music. And Kate Russell has the perfect thing for that now in Webscape.
I've covered music apps for lots of different platforms, but now it's the turn of the Windows Phone 7 Brigade, with a couple of smart ideas for enjoying music on the go. Nokia Music is preloaded on Nokia's new handsets, and the free app is available through Marketplace too. It serves perfectly well as a simple music manager, and the added bonus of location-based gig finder and Mix Radio, a free collection of ready-made mixes that you can download to listen to offline as well. That's your basic beat sorted out. Just add speakers, size depending on volume. And if you're a social music lover, then you are going to like this next app, which is called Pepper. Now, this is a free app, and it was first developed for the Windows Phone 7 platform, and it really shows in the design. The app lets users build their own social networks around live music events, a great way to connect if you're planning a big trip to a festival or a night out clubbing. You can follow artists you like and pin them and your favourite venues to your home screen, so you'll never miss another good gig. Then share the details with your network so they can book a ticket too. This app was made for the Windows Phone 7 platform, literally and figuratively, and was released on iPhone last month with an Android version due in July. Remember the funky video Facebook released when they were promoting the new Timelines feature? Well, now you can make one out of your own timeline with timelinemoviemaker.com. This app takes a seriously long time to scour through your Facebook profile. More than 3 minutes for me the first time, and probably longer if you've got a busy timeline. So don't sit there watching it chug away. Go and grab some fresh air and just hit the replay button when you get back. Once the first video is compiled, you can tweak the highlights and even change the soundtrack before sharing your Facebook life as a movie with all your friends. Luckily, the app takes a lot less time loading up your movie when they click through to watch it. What is pi? No, not that kind of pi. The mathematical pi. It's an amazing number that's explained in a quite inspiring way at numberphile.com. This YouTube channel is crammed with really interesting short films explaining, in their own words, numbers and stuff. My favourite is the one about the Googleplex.
Second particle we write down as 0, and we carry on doing that on every particle in the universe, and we still would not be able to write down a Googleplex.
It's the simplicity with which these subjects are tackled that makes the videos so effective, all nicely illustrated and explained by incredibly enthusiastic experts. It's a bit like having your favourite, quite mad but very brainy uncle or friend sitting opposite you on the computer. It's amazing how easy learning becomes when finding stuff out is so much fun. In fact, one could even call it easy as pie? Twitter launched a new events feature last weekend, #Pages, partnering with NASCAR to bring tweets and photos from drivers, fans, pit crews, celebrities and the media together in one place at twitter.com/#NASCAR. And augmented reality veteran Leia has launched a free app for Android and iOS called Stiktu. It's a social platform, yes, yet another, that lets you stick things like drawings, photos, text and stickers to stuff in the real world, leaving invisible markers behind for others to scan and discover.
Kate Russell and Webscape. And I'm afraid that's it from Click in Los Angeles. Hope you've enjoyed our jaunt across California for the last couple of weeks. Check out our website for a little bit more on our trip. bbc.co.uk/click is the address you need. And get in touch. Email click@bbc.co.uk or tweet us at bbcclick. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.